Hello and welcome to the Winter Aquarium 2023 update. In this episode, we drive several large pieces of Malaysian driftwood in a snowstorm and eventually soak it in the 210 before moving it to the 150-gallon discus tank. We add a red tiger lotus to the discus tank and start to move corydoras eggs into their own tank to allow that fry to hatch. Thank you for watching. Let us start out with the log story.
How do you know everything in here is on the up and up?
It's in there, it's in truth.
I picked up a few large pieces of Malaysian driftwood from the amazing Aqua imports and was forced to modify my driving route to avoid hazardous conditions. With snow and reduced visibility, my rental car broke down in North Platte, Nebraska. And I want to give a huge shout out to Lavender's Body Shop, who gave me a tow and helped me get a new rental car, which did get me the rest of the way. In the end, the Malaysian driftwood spent the holidays at my in-laws' house, but eventually made it back here with only a 2-week delay.
Alright, well it's the middle of winter, but we're filling up the kids' pool here. Gonna let this wood soak to get all the junk off of it. This wood from Aqua Imports, Boulder, Colorado. Anyway, we're gonna let it soak in the kids' pool over here in our utility area where no one will be able to go for a while. First, you can also kind of douse this down a little bit. It's going to be so pretty. After about an hour, you can see the tannins are starting to leach out of the wood, turning it nice tea color. We're going to let it sit for another little bit, and then we're going to put it in this fish tank here, for starters, just to get some of the tannins out. And I love this tank when it's a black water tank. Alright, so here we go. We have our log. We moved this big log over and shove this tree stump in here. I'm gonna let it soak in here for a little bit and eventually stick it in that tank there.
Might as well take some footage while that log is still soaking. There was good news announced recently for starting to better protect the Amazon rainforest, where a lot of these species are from, and where there has been an increase in deforestation and new human development. It sounds like Washington is going to provide support for a fund, so we'll see what happens. This is what many of the rivers in South America look like, with the dark tannins. It softens the water a bit and has antifungal and antibacterial properties. Well, it sure was nice having this new log hang out in our 210 gallon for a little bit here. Alright, I think today is the big day that we're going to take this log out of the 210 and stick it in the discus tank. I predict that this will not be graceful.
Tell me what the hell is going on.
Alright, now we just need to move it over to the other tank. I'm thinking we want to stick this in this way. Wow, is that awesome, guys? Look at that.
All of the fish are like, what the heck, but also there's this really cool log in here, so we look at those cardinals.
We'll come back to that log in a second. This is the first clip I took using my new ZV-1 Sony camera. Can you tell the difference? So yeah, this is what we ended up doing with the wood. You can see we have a nice big piece of Malaysian driftwood in back. Kind of put it up on its end. This was in the 150-gallon discus tank, but these fish have almost completely stripped the bark off of it. It's impressive. This guy was also in the discus tank and just kind of stuck it upside down. It's kind of a cool piece there. We've got the rocks rearranged with the hopes of creating some better defined territories to keep aggression to a minimum.
This aggression will not stand, man.
Alright, over here, this is the food station. Here we got some jumbo bloodworms. Feed a whole tub to these guys, they go crazy for it, of course. Then I feed a smaller tub here to the discus tank. Jumbo bloodworms.
Very popular choice.
We put a little brine shrimp in the 210. And I leave a quarter of a cup for the 65-gallon tank. Francis, this is one of his favorite things. Come on, Bubba. Look. Get it, get it. Lastly, this is brine shrimp. And that flagtail propagation, that's what he loves, so. As do my discus. I've got him trained. There's that boy. You see he's eating all the bark off of this piece of wood here. I don't see the appeal. It's impressive. These are either Leperinus octomaculatus or orthomaculatus chilling in the sand.
I'm going to lie on the beach and catch some rays. Waka waka.
So now we've already talked about that Minnesota air. It's minus whatever outside. And we got the smoke on the water again. Never underestimate the power of Sarah O-nip tabs. Alright, now let's get back to that log in the 150-gallon discus tank. So I think the log is looking quite cool in this discus tank. But yeah, provides lots of cover for these clown loaches. They love to hang out under it. It's like their secret hiding place under there. So here, as the sign suggests, we have some live sphagnum moss. This is going to help condition our water. We live in Minnesota, which is right in the middle of the country. The further away from the ocean, the harder the water tends to be. The fish I keep like soft water, and my discus eggs tend to fungus. If only I were keeping African cichlids. Nice zebra tilapia. I had one of those. As featured on the latest Amazonas magazine. Just saying. Sorry, that was a heck of a tangent. Let's get back on course. Over here on my left, I have my mother-in-law's pantyhose, nylon stockings.
Heat them up.
I'm going to rinse these nylon stockings, stuff the moss in there, and then tie the end off to make a nice little filter bag. Thank you, Hunter Fly Traps. That is some good sphagnum moss. Well, it's time to cut my mother-in-law's stockings. So, now we can put our moss in here. Slide it in like this. Okay, so the moss is in there. And so here is my new filter pad. Alright, so this is what it looks like, nice and sketchy. We're just going to stick this up in here in our hang-on back filter. Alright, sphagnum moss has been placed. You guys excited? I spy with my little eye a red tiger lotus that is sending a runner up to find the surface of the water column it finds itself in. A few weeks later, you can see this plant has shot a bunch of runners up to the top here, and they are red and beautiful. The base of the plant is back here, and it was getting kicked around by the fish. Lucas Bretz from LRB Aquatics suggested that I build a rock pile and use the rocks to keep the tiger lotus bulb in place. Thank you, Lucas, and check out his live stream every Friday evening.
9:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Oh my god, dragons and discus? Put your money where your mouth is, silver dollar.
Pon esa cámara en tu culo, camarógrafo.
Let's head over to the 65-gallon planted aquarium and watch as I discover that the albino corydoras are spawning again. This time I have a plan for the eggs.
Well, this tank looks kind of cool with the work light there shining on it. Boy, uh-oh, what are the catfish doing? Are you guys breeding again? Looks like it.
Corydoras eggs. There's the female. Just laying them right now. This is what happens to my cory eggs. And so that's why we got this tank down here to help us out. You can see our cory eggs here. They laid eggs on this wave maker, and so I just plunked it in here without having to disturb the eggs. Hanging out on the filter. They like to eat stuff off the filter pad that I put in there to help cycle the tank in the first place. But you can kind of see it's crawling with the little white, tiny, just hatched albino catfish, corydoras. They look like little tadpoles right now. It's pretty cool. And so several weeks later, this tank is crawling with catfish. You can see them all over the bag there, various sizes. Interestingly, some of the babies were salt and pepper cories. I'm currently feeding the babies this frozen Daphnia. We'll see how they grow. Speaking of growing, let's check out a time lapse of the pothos plant growing. Right there you can see propagation in action. There's the leaf of the pothos plant, and at the very top there's this little shoot coming up, and that piece is going to keep on extending out and grow further. And now you can see this leaf is facing the light. It's going to probably open up here today, and we'll start the process off, and you'll see new growth going this way. Who knows, maybe it'll fall down the front of the tank here. And so here's the pothos plant in its current state. Yeah, very cool plant. Love this plant. Alright, we'll stop upstairs and take a look at the 29-gallon pencilfish tank. Is that a narwhal on a sofa?
I think it maybe is.
Is it watching your 29-gallon pencilfish tank?
Oh, yes.
Huh, that's pretty crazy.
I know!
There's the pencilfish. A big Amazon sword. There's my daughter's hand. This is her fish tank. There's her panda cories, her coolie loaches. You like this tank, kiddo? Yes, I think that was affirmative. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time, right?
Yeah!